As always, these type of videos can be helpful to you guys in case you don't know what to buy at garage sales, estate sales, thrift stores, and even your own home. Make sure you stay tuned to the end so you guys see everything and you don't miss out on any of these items that can sell online for a pretty good profit. The first item right here is an Adidas X Kid Cudi shoes, and these ones sold for full price of $69.99. They were used, unfortunately. If they were new, they would go for over $100. However, for only having $5 into the shoes, I would call this definitely a very, very good flip. The reason I picked up these Adidas because they look very different. They're high tops. I really don't see a lot of those, and they just have a pretty cool look. I knew they were something special. I just didn't know, how much it was going to be. This next one right here is a jersey. This is a Joma Costa Rica soccer jersey, and this one sold for full price of $34.99. Now, the reason I'm showing this is because from a glance, it doesn't really look like anything special. There's no embroidery on the back, nothing. It just has an emblem and Joma. When I picked this up, I was expecting, like $15 or so, but I did a little bit more research and saw that it was a little bit rare, so I listed it for $34.99, and it sold a couple days after I listed it. I priced it pretty fair, I believe, and always on the lookout for more Joma stuff. Even if it looks simplistic, sometimes it could be worth it to pick it up. This right here, I got in a recent garage sale video I covered. Picked this up and a bunch of other things for like $30. I included a video showing that she talks, so that you always want to do that with something that you can test, and just to show the buyer with confidence that it works, so that they have no question about it working or not. You will get those questions like, oh, does it work? Have you tested it? With video, I mean, it's clear as day that it works. It eliminates a lot of that back and forth. This one was surprisingly went for $30 used, and she did have a stain on her dress. I think I show a picture of it. Yeah, see, she has stains on her dress and she still sold for that much. So very surprising, but very happy. Definitely going to keep a lookout for this Bo Peep in the future. This Warriors Triumph structure deck for Yu-Gi-Oh! Was in the big buy I did for the video games and the Yu-Gi-Oh! Lot. There was 2 huge boxes of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm so glad I picked that up. There were so many hidden gems that you're going to see later on in this video. But also, I just wanted to point out that there was some sealed packs. Most of them were open. The guy just kind of kept the booster pack wrapping, but this one was factory sealed and it did sell for $59.99 full price. I am still not done looking through those boxes. There is a ton more for me to go through. It takes so much time to go through it, and I feel like fourth quarter I'm going to be definitely digging a little more in there, especially when sourcing dies down. That's basically what I'm trying to wait for. A lot of the video game stuff that I did get from that sale, by the way, is going to conventions, so it's not going to go on my eBay store, but we'll see. There might be a couple here and there that will go on the eBay store. This was definitely a pretty nice surprise when I found it.
I gotta have more!
This Super Nintendo sold for as is parts repair, and it actually had no screws on it. It sold for $24.99. So I got a big box full of Super Nintendos at a garage sale. The guy only wanted $30 from. I believe there was 5 or 6. Plus there was a ton of other extra pieces on there. I've since sold all the Super Nintendos for around this range. That's why I'm showing this here. Close the chapter on that buy, and I still have a bunch of the pieces left over. I'm probably just gonna lot that up and hopefully make about this much money on them. Even if the consoles don't work, if they're in high demand, definitely pick them up because they will sell. I'm very happy I bought that for $30, and I would definitely do it again. This was a gigantic surprise in that Yu-Gi-Oh! Lot. Once again, there was 2 huge boxes of Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff. In one of the boxes, there was a bunch of binders full of vintage cards. There was LOB, which is Legend of Blue Eyes, which is the first Yu-Gi-Oh! Set. And this one right here sold for a full price of $299.99. It sold instantly, like within 5 minutes of me listing it. I think I listed it a little too cheap. It is unlimited, it is wavy, and it was near mint. So I should have probably listed more about the 400 or 500, but regardless, I am still super happy with this flip. And if you guys don't know, wavy is these lines. Basically, the first card stock was made kind of cheaply for Yu-Gi-Oh! And people basically deem this the first print run. There's a first print run of first edition, and there's also a first print run of unlimited. And it's only LOB, and it's also starter deck Kaiba and starter deck Yugi. It's amazing. If you ever find LOB stuff, definitely check and make sure it's not wavy print, because if it is wavy print, it can sell for a premium. Another surprise from there was this sealed Dark Paladin promo. This is the corrected artwork. Konami would send this to you in a promo pack just like this. Sold this for full price of $129.99. So as you can see, about $400 all in that buy. So definitely in the profit already without selling any video game stuff. which is amazing. Definitely don't sleep on Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Does have some serious bolos. This Vans skate slip-on strawberry cheetah sold for 60, I think it's $64.98. I did send a 10% offer, but regardless, I only had less than $5 into this shoe. The reason I picked up these Vans is number one, they were new in box, but number two, the print looked interesting. Usually Vans look kind of boring. I tend not to pick them up even if they're new. People want stuff that pops out for the most part, and they're willing to pay up for it a little bit more. So I'm always on the lookout for that kind of stuff when I'm looking at shoes and clothing. This vintage Snoopy crew neck sold for $31.98, I believe. I send out offers and they accepted just in time for Halloween too. This up at an estate sale for I think $1 or $2. Pulled them out of the closet. If you ever see vintage anything, cartoons, theme parks, etc., definitely pick it up if it's cheap enough. Kiyomi Haunterly sold for $54.93. This is another send out offers and they accepted. About a month, so it still sold pretty fast considering it was only a month. Monster High is hot. If you can find the right ones, it can definitely pay off. There's a lot of Monster Highs that range between 20. Even still, if you get them for $1 a piece or less, definitely pick them up. They sell pretty fast. This camera I bought for $5 at a garage sale. It's the Sony DCR SX41, and this one actually sold for full price of $69.99. Very happy. Came with the bag, came with the charger, super easy to test. That guy even told me that it worked. He just upgraded. I love when cameras are easy like this, extremely fast. The film cameras are a little bit something I need to learn a little bit more about because I have a couple in the back burner and I have to get them tested. Easy test, easy list, no brainer. Definitely would pick this up again. This Ancient Civilization set of 51 out of 52 was missing one. So if this one wasn't missing one, it would have gotten more for it. So keep that in mind. And also the box was damaged, but still sold for $74 and some change. Very happy with the flip. I think I had about $7 into it, maybe $5. Very happy with the flip. If I ever see these again, I'm definitely going to pick it up. Keep an eye out for any educational DVDs, especially if there's a bunch of them. Like Bill Nye the Science Guy is another one to keep on the eye out for. Definitely pick it up. Money, 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 money. Another part of that big video game slash Yu-Gi-Oh buy was this CH Products Pro Pedals, and it's just the pedals of the feet, and this one sold for a full price of $69.99, and the shipping was a little bit big. It's definitely not really cheap to ship, but still sold pretty fast. Sold within a couple days of me listing it. Part of me hated these because this was on top of a bunch of boxes that for the Super Nintendo, and it crushed Mega Man X. These dang pedals crushed that box, but they did have value, so I ended up cleaning it and they tested it and it worked. So very, very happy overall with the flip. Even if something looks like it might not have value, it doesn't hurt to look it up. I'm trying not to put a bunch of these in here because obviously a lot of people know video game stuff sells. The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker for GameCube sold for full price of $69.99. This is actually part of that my birthday video that I went out a couple days ago. Sold for full price fast, I think within a couple days. If you price video games right, they usually sell pretty fast, so just keep that in mind. GameCube is hot right now. If you find a lot of GameCube games, definitely look them up because they can be worth some serious money. Another part of that big Yu-Gi-Oh buy was this left arm of the Forbidden One. The reason I wanted to show this one is because it is Asian English. What does that mean? So if you look at the back of the card, on this corner right here, let me get another picture. The logo is not in English, so that right away is a giveaway that it's Asian English. This one sold for $55. Send out offers, they counter offered with $55. I accepted. Already in the profit from that buy. The reason that was worth that much because it's first edition. Now, if this was first edition English, this would be crazy money. Unfortunately, it wasn't English, but still pretty happy with the sale. This is the last video game. I promise I'm not gonna show a bunch of them, but the reason I included this is because there was an issue. So the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time for the GameCubes did sell for $54.99. Now I want to emphasize that it does say Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 2-game bonus disc, and it says the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Master Quest. Now when the buyer received it, they sent me a message that they were not happy that there was no bonus disc. And based on the title, I can understand what they're saying. It says 2-game bonus disc, and it has both titles separate between them, so it's almost giving the reader gist of that there's 2 discs, but no, this is just a 1-disc game. Both games are on 1 disc, and this basically is a pre-order bonus for Wind Waker for GameCube. As you can see, it was complete in box, and they were basically arguing, saying it wasn't complete in boxes, it was missing the bonus disc. And then I gave them a screenshot and sent a couple of examples and Zelda Wiki, basically stating that it was a 1-disc game. After a few hours, they messaged me back saying, you know, I'm sorry, I feel like jerk over something that wasn't true, and they're happy since then. So very happy to sell this, but you do run into some problems like this if people don't know exactly what they're buying. You have to understand that GameCube was released in the 2000s and it's 2024, so it's almost been 20 years. So a lot of people might not be aware of certain facts, like this is just a one disc game. So keep that in mind when you're selling video game stuff. You might get questions, you might get angry customers, and sometimes if you give them an understanding, you avoid a return or bad feedback, which happened here. This right here was the surprise sale. I recently mentioned that I was going to the swap meets, and this one right here I picked up at a swap meet for $5. I was shocked. So I know that Robert Graham limited edition shirts go for a high dollar. However, this is not limited edition. It was just a very colorful shirt, and you know, I bought it for $5, expected to get 30 out of it. No, it sold for way more. Here's a better picture of it. So if you ever find like goofy, vibrant colors on a shirt and it's a pretty good name brand, pick it up because it can be worth it. That's what's in right now. A lot of people like these wacky colors. No judgment, of course. I'm not a stylist person, so I don't know what's in really, but I know what to look for when I'm looking at clothing. So this one right here did sell for $89.99. It did not sell for $99.99. I sent out offers, they counter offered, I accepted. Super happy. I mean, from $5 to that, it's a no-brainer, and clothing is super easy to ship, so I had no problem accepting that offer. Even though you might not want to look at that big bag of clothing or the stack of clothing there, sometimes it pays to look through it. Here's another example of looking through clothing and it paying off. So this Birdwell beach breeches sold for $40. I sent out offers, they counter offered, I accepted, and even though there was a hole, there was a puncture on there, it was covered by this pretty neat patch, which is pretty cool. It sold for $40 considering all that, which is amazing. Birdwell beach breeches is one of those things where you definitely want to look at swim trunks, shorts, everything for that brand. Even hats do sell. I picked this up at Goodwill for I think $4.99 or $5.99. Definitely amazing. Keep that in your radar when you're looking at clothing. Birdwell beach breeches. This was a Salvation Army pickup. I picked both of these plushes up for I believe $2.99 each, and I sold them both for $34.98. I sent out offers and they accepted. The reason I went that low, because Leafeon can usually sell for this price, is because I did try to wash the Leafeon because it wasn't a bad smell, but it had an odor to it, and I wanted to get the odor out. And unfortunately, when I did that, if you can see, there's like a little blemish here. It's hard to tell in the picture, but you can tell in person. So definitely wanted to disclose that. I had Eevee, and Eevee wasn't worth that much. I just decided to lot them and get rid of both of them, and it worked. So still happy. Pretty nice flip, and I learned a lesson of not to wash, especially light colored plush. It can get damaged. I need to look and see what other methods I can use to clean odor off or clean plushes that are pretty fragile when it comes to that. I lied. This is my last sale. Mario Party 7 big box did sell for $98.99. Send out offers, counter offered, I accepted, and very happy with that flip. This was part of that big buy I did with the video game collector slash reseller, and I'm happy with it. It wasn't perfect. As you can see, there was a tear on the top. If it was perfect, obviously you would get a lot more money, but still, regardless, very happy with the flip, and I would definitely do it again. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Let me know in the comments below if you learned something from this video, or if I missed something that I could have talked about in this video that you would like to see in a future video. Like always, remember to comment, like, and subscribe for more videos. Follow my Instagram and TikTok at GrimzyRaider, and we'll see what I find next. Thanks, guys.